So my name is Honey Parker, and I am an author. I'm a fiction author, and I run a quarterly story slam out of the arts. So that's storytelling on a theme. Let's see, what else have we got going? I used to be an art director, so I do all my own covers, my own book covers. Oh, I also teach improv. Most recently, before I moved here, I was living in Park City, Utah, in the mountains. So it just seemed natural to make the next stop on the train water. I'd lived all over the place. I'm born in Philadelphia. I lived in New York and LA and Colorado and Mexico and St. Lucia. And so anyway, so we're up in the mountains and we figured water's the next stop. And we literally just Googled affordable waterfront property US. And of all the places that came up, because we were like, we're not moving to Minnesota, and Bay St. Louis came up, and it started checking a lot of the boxes. It's near New Orleans, which has always been near and dear to our hearts. We were born there. We got married there. I feel like maybe I was born there. We got married there, and we were going every year. And also, we saw that the arts was so big in this town. And we got here, we knew no one. And after a week in town, the people who we had met threw us a going away party. And we're like, who does that? And the art pool was actually a lot deeper than we thought. A lot of places will say, oh, the arts are so big here. And it's really like a shell glued to a piece of driftwood, and it says, welcome to the beach. But that's not what was happening here. I mean, we've got artists that are, nationally recognized and world recognized. I mean, there's something special happening here. I've just finished my 6th. I'm starting my 7th. I co-authored several business books with Mr. Parker. He and I had an ad agency together for a long time, and so we were writing books and being asked to speak to business groups around the world. So my most recent series is V-Life, which is an award-winning series. So that is the story of Sugar Bernstein, a former New York ad executive who sadly is turned into a vampire, and she takes off in an RV to avoid evil and Jewish guilt. And so it's horror and comedy and human and sexy and scary and all the things in one series. I've finished writing the 3rd one. It's with my editor. I just finished, I think I'm finished with the book cover. If you want to see it, I don't know. Should I bring it up on the computer? All right, so I do all my own covers because A, I've been an art director, and B, it's a lot cheaper. So this is the cover.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So everything in the V-Life series, this is reader's proof of the first book. So everything in the V-Life series has this little van on it with the vampire teeth. So most people don't know this, but I keep my van on my desktop. This is the van, and I photograph it at different angles, and then I Photoshop, this is so many layers in Photoshop, the hood ornament, because I can't use the actual hood ornament. So I made a V ornament. I put blood on it, and the map is always wherever she is in the book. So this is the coast of Spain. One of the things I do is I run a story slam quarterly, and so that's storytelling on a theme. And we usually have about 10 people tell stories, and everybody else just comes and listens and enjoys it. Because, who doesn't love a story well told? And I feel like, stories bring us together. You see somebody and you make certain assumptions, or they're this age, or they're in this demographic or whatever. And then they get up and tell a story and you're like, oh, wait a minute, there's so much more happening here. And I think that in that way, we've kind of broken down some barriers. And and I feel like in that room, people are more willing to go up to somebody they may not have approached initially because they might have self-selected and been like, oh, I guess they're not my people. And then they realize, oh, yeah, they are. And, we had a woman tell a story, and she's in her 90s, and people loved her story. It was so great. We had a kid who I think was about 13. It's really been fantastic. And one of the things I love about the arts here is, this is a place where you can show up and say, we should really do a story slam and I'd be happy to run it. And people are like, yes, do it. And then they show up. That's the other great thing about this town is when you do something, people show up. They're like, oh yeah, let's see that. And it helps that we have wine. It's the art here gives you an opportunity to try things in a way where it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a fail, and when you try something, a medium that maybe wasn't your medium, whether it's watercolor or it's clay art or something like that, and you can just do it and it doesn't matter, and you're just going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to take this class and try this. And it's delightful. It is absolutely delightful to play in that way and be allowed to play. And yeah, it's fantastic.